Welcome back to Math Mini Lessons. In this lesson, we're going to divide a fraction by a whole number. So I want you to watch how I do these three things as I'm modeling through the problem. But also just thinking, what does it mean to share a fraction? So let's jump right in. What is the value of 1/25 divided by 74? Oh, we are starting with a doozy here. All right, so in this case, we still have a number that's being broken up into smaller bits. That's all that's happening. This just means I have a number less than 1 that's being shared more times. And you can absolutely do this. Think about if you had a pizza, if you had half a pizza, you could still share that pizza. It is possible to equally share it. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to practice actually solving this out. So 1/25 divided by 74. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to rewrite this as a multiplication sentence, which was our second criteria of success. So instead, I'm going to turn this into 1/25 times the reciprocal 1/74. So I'm multiplying it by its inverse by flipping it around. Now this is something that we can actually solve. 1 times 1 is 1. And I'm going to have to actually just write on the side 24. Before we do the models, I want to make sure we're really clear about what it means to divide a fraction. So I'm going to choose an easy one, 1/2 divided by 4. And think of it as like just dividing a fraction. So let's say I have half a pizza and I'm sharing this half a pizza with 4 friends. So how much pizza does each person get? So there we go. Now you can actually see the 4 pieces of pizza. And I know that each friend is getting one of these pieces. So this is 1 piece out of 8. So this doesn't make a lot of sense to most people because when they look at it, even if I put a 1 underneath it, 1 divided by 4 is not 1, and 2 divided by 1 is not 8. So why does this work, even though it clearly works here in this model? I can take a half and break it up into 4 pieces. So I want to go back and when we were talking about finding area and think about this for a second. And I'm going to show my array. And so here's half. So let's say I'm talking about half. And I know I'm dividing this into 4 pieces. I know each person is only getting 1 piece, this piece over here. So what do I actually have here? This is the 1 piece that someone gets. And this is literally showing me 1/8. This is what 1/8 would be. So how could I get there? It would only happen if I multiplied. Think about our area model where we multiplied. What would we have to multiply 1/2 by to get 1/8? How would you get there? Well, you could multiply by 1/4. And that makes a ton of sense here when we're looking at it this way. So instead, what we're doing is, instead of using our regular multiplication sentence, 1/2 divided by 4/1, we're taking this number and we're flipping it over to make 1/4. We're rewriting it. Rewrite your division problem as multiplication. Okay, and that means we're going to take this part over here, this whole number 4, and we're going to flip it over. This is called a reciprocal. Okay, and that's all we're doing is we're inverting it. We're flipping it over. So what we're going to do in today's problem is when we have to divide by a whole number, we're going to flip it. That's the only way that we can get that number when we're dividing up by a fraction, when we divide a fraction. So let's look at our first example. And this one's a monster. I'm not going to say this is an easy problem. What is the value of the expression 1/25 divided by 74? So I'm going to rewrite this as 1/25 times, okay, because that's what we had to do, rewrite it, and now we're going to times it by the reciprocal 1 over 74. Okay, you may want it to have flipped that first fraction, but it is you're only flipping your divisor. Okay, that's kind of like our area model. So this one's not too easy. We know what our numerator is going to be. Super easy. 1. I'm going to save you some time and just tell you that 24 times 74 is 1,850, which is also these numbers right here. All right, and the correct answer for this one, you would get 1 over 1,850, which would be. So that's what we're doing. Anytime you have a division problem with a fraction, when we're dividing a fraction, you're going to flip that second one around. Hit pause and jot this into your notes. All right, here's our second one. 4 classmates were asked to decorate 1/5 of a bulletin board in a classroom. They divided the section to be decorated equally amongst 4 classmates. What fraction of the entire bulletin board did each classmate decorate? And this was an actual question that I came up with. I made it out of a test question I found. So again, let's think about our visual. So here's a bulletin board. And they needed to decorate 1/5 of the board. So automatically I'm breaking this up into 5. 1. Let's make this bigger, because I have a feeling we're going to need bigger board. And I'm going to split it into fifths. Okay, so I want this 1/5 right here, and I'm going to split it into 4 pieces. Okay, so here's the part we were talking about. This is our 1/5. So how much does each person get in this model? Each person gets 1 piece out of 2, 3, 4, 20. So that's what each person gets. So I have 1/5 divided by 4 is equal to 1 over 20. Again, how does that work? I have 1/5. I'm going to rewrite as multiplication. And I'm going to flip this over as, instead of 4 over 1, 1 over 4. And now I can see why I get 1 over 20. Because I only want 1/4 of the 1/5. That's what I'm looking for. I want 1/4 of the 1/5. A fourth of the number. And that gives me my 1/20th. So what fraction of the board did each classmate get? And let's write that as a full sentence. Each classmate gets to decorate 1/20th of the board. And that's it. The key to this is to always rewrite this problem. Rewrite this as a multiplication sentence. Once you do that, you'll be able to multiply and get that answer. That's it for today's lesson, Math Marbles. I'll see you in the next one. Be well and bye.